nothing out there, nobody living out there. There have been everything from murders and robberies and rapes to what most people view as good, wholesome family activity, like go out there, pitch a tent, set up a camper.
Many American cities have a pavement problem. Specifically, there's too much of it. But without digging into some numbers and putting them in the context, it's hard to understand what too much really means or looks like. In Palm Bay, Florida, we have a great example of what this looks like. There are 958 miles of roads in the city of Palm Bay, enough to reach Baltimore if you stretch them out end to end. There's an area of Palm Bay known as the Compound, also referred to as street patterns. It's 12.2 square miles of completely undeveloped land with 65 miles of paved roads. Compound streets are not being maintained. While money is not being wasted on road repair, the compound is still costing the city in other ways. The city police and fire departments are often called for accidents caused by both reckless driving and recreational activity. These pose a major safety concern on top of the financial liability. In the late 80s, Florida's largest land development company was General Development Corporation. GDC, as the company was known, bought the land now known as the Compound. Shortly after, the GDC leadership was accused of fraudulent home sales and filed for bankruptcy. Unfortunately, the damage was already done. Since GDC went defunct in the 90s, the city of Palm Bay has yet to find a viable solution for what to do with the land. Most of the acres of land have been bought up, with the city owning only 235 acres out of nearly 3,000. The city has not been issuing permits to build in the area. The empty land became popular for various activities, including camping, fishing, and firing guns. The compound also became home to crimes, including deadly accidents and attempted murder. Aside from dangerous recreational activities and reckless driving, the compound is known as an unregulated shooting range. It's not uncommon to see bullet casings or old appliances shredded for target practice by large amounts of ammunition. Stolen vehicles are being dumped in the area as well.
I started with the police department in 1980. I was, as always, uniform patrol officer, and there was a lot of activity and very few people west of I-95 in Palm Bay. Back then it was 64 square miles. And there was activity that, as the years progressed, that went everything from people out there. And when we say the compound, it was like a large part of Southwest Palm Bay is drug activity. There was rumors of planes landing and offloading marijuana and cocaine. Obviously, people going out there and having bonfire parties and illegal hunting. At the time, the city ordinance did not allow for any kind of discharge of weapons in the city. There was a lot of shooting that was going on because there were very, very few houses. The problem is there were some, and there were occasions where people were having, bullets hit their houses and things along those lines. So it was a myriad of wildlife violations, littering, dumping, drug activity.
Police have been cracking down to eliminate illegal activity. This is because the city of Palm Bay says the compound is not a recreational area. Anyone who enters is considered trespassing. Recently, new signs displaying warnings to visitors and shooters have been posted throughout the area. While the compound is mainly used for dangerous activities, there are still people living in the outskirts of the compound. Families routinely use the area for boating, fishing, biking, and other recreational activities. Shooting in this area puts people's lives in danger. In August 2020, Palm Bay Police started moving into the enforcement phase of this public safety campaign. Anyone caught firing guns in the compound are subject to arrest and prosecution to the full extent of the law. Their ultimate goal is to stop people from riding off-road vehicles out there on public roadways altogether. Their emphasis and enforcement is mainly on the roadways, as well as enforcing the laws of public roads. Police officers shut down the area to the public and block the two entranceways, stopping anyone who has an ATV or other off-road vehicle. Public safety has always been such a concern because so many people have died out in the compound. The compound is full of warning signs stating which activities are illegal, and they state no off-roading, no dirt biking, and no shooting. They are willfully ignored by those who know their way around the compound and are looking to practice their off-roading skills. In mid-April of 2020, there was a fatal crash between two dirt bikes. There were 3 riders in total, and none of them wore helmets. A couple riding their dirt bike collided into an 18-year-old riding the opposite direction. The collision killed the young man on impact, but the couple suffered several injuries and survived. Palm Bay police officers continually go to the compound to break up groups of trespassers riding their dirt bikes and ATVs. Florida Today reported that in late August of 2016, Christopher Bass and Sheena Henry died in a car crash in the compound. Bass was driving his station wagon inside the compound late at night when he sped into an intersection without stopping. He drove head-on into a truck driven by 24-year-old John Camden. Like many others in the compound, that intersection didn't have a stop sign. Camden swerved, but he crashed into Bass's front fender and the station wagon flipped over. Bass and his passenger, Henry, were ejected from the car as neither had their seatbelts on during the crash. About a week and a half later, a helicopter crashed inside the compound. Witnesses said the helicopter looked like an old aircraft flying low to the ground before it crashed, bursting into flames. Sean Porter was riding his ATV with his friends and caught the crash on his phone. Porter said that he and his friends tried to go and help those in the crash, but the heat of the fiery helicopter was too much. The 3 passengers in the helicopter died in the compound. As fun as it may seem, the compound is a dangerous place. The long roads that take you right into the heart of the compound became the last thing many saw before their tragic deaths. The compound is a mostly barren, untamed area in Palm Bay. It's not a park, it's not a racetrack, and it's not a gun range. It's a lonely place to die.